Welcome into the WQAD podcast room. We are doing our 10th episode of Beyond the Score. I couldn't even tell you the last time we all got in here and did one of these things, but it was last year. That's how long ago it's been.
Yeah.
It was probably November, October, sometime when we did one of these. So a lot of things have happened. We've had the holidays. We've had a new year. You celebrated your 2-year anniversary. You're almost to 1 year. You actually just did celebrate 1 year, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You just celebrated 1 year here. So congratulations to both of you.
Thank
You're always
you.
so many years behind me. That's
Oh my gosh, we're catching up, right, Jonah?
Right. Yes, we're almost
The
there.
only way you can catch up is when I stop. That's the only
That
way
is
you
true.
can
That
catch
is
up.
true.
So we have a lot of things to talk about. We're going to talk a little college basketball. We'll talk a little high school basketball. We'll talk a little high school wrestling. Maybe some fun question if we can think of something fun to ask. We might mention the Quad City Storm. They've been playing some good hockey recently. But I want to start with some college basketball. And why not start with the team that is leading the Big Ten, tied for first, and that would be the Iowa Hawkeyes. Joan, I know you were just up there today.
Iowa women.
Iowa women, yes, Iowa women. They are 9-0 in conference. They've won 8 straight games. They are on fire right now, tied with UCLA.
Yeah.
And what a week they have had. They beat 3 top 15 teams this past week. So congratulations to them. They're playing some really good basketball. Joan, let me ask you, what was the atmosphere like going up there today on a Sunday? That's when we're shooting this and recording this. They played Ohio State. A game that was one of those you're like, could be one that could be really tough, and it really wasn't that tough.
Yeah, going into it, I thought this would kind of be a toss-up game. Ohio State has one of the best scoring guards in the country in Jelani Cambridge, but they really held Ohio State in check, and Iowa was shooting the lights out of the ball early. They hit 5 threes in the second quarter alone, and you talked about the atmosphere. Full Carver, really, really great energy and atmosphere there at the game, and it did get sucked out of the game. The life was just, it kind of got sucked away with Taylor McCabe getting hurt right at the beginning of the game.
First minute of the game or so, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was a non-contact injury. It looked like a knee. She came back onto the bench with like a knee brace, or her knee wrapped up, and that was kind of a down part. But everyone else stepped up. Addie Deal had a 20-point game. Hannah Stolke, I believe, had a double-double. Ava Hayden, 18 points as well. This is a team that relies on those bigs in Ava and Hannah. And when they have some wing shooting like they do with Addie Deal, Chit Chat Wright, Taylor Stremlow pitching in, Kylie Fearback, they have a lot of great pieces mixing in veterans and youth. So it's really cool to see everyone gelling right now.
Back-to-back games for Hannah Stolke with double-doubles.
Yeah.
She had one in their last game. She had one in this game. And she's a player, obviously, that they're going to rely on quite a bit, being the senior leader that she is. She's really stepped up this year, but you mentioned Addie Deal. She was the Big Ten Freshman of the Week last week. Probably going to get it again after having the game that she just had against Ohio State. To come off the bench, knowing your role is maybe you're going to play 20 minutes, maybe 22, 3 minutes, whatever, and then you play a lot more than that because of what happened to the injury of Taylor McCabe. First of all, hope she recovers and everything goes well with her. Ironically, kind of crazy, her sister, who plays for Drake, also hurt her knee, probably within minutes of each other.
Wow.
It was both in the first half, I believe, of their games. So Drake played this afternoon. She got hurt, and then Taylor gets hurt. I think Taylor's was first. But yeah, Addie Deal, what a great game for her to come off the bench and be thrust into that role of, hey, you're gonna play a lot of minutes, and she played really well. So Jan Jensen doing one heck of a job.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And one thing about the team too, like the sound you picked from the interview, it's like when Taylor McCabe goes down, obviously it's very hard to mentally just like get back into it, but I just like the attitude of they were out there and they're like, we're going to do this for her too. It's like they're a very tight-knit team. They have a lot of heart, and they've always had that. It's just a really good program in Iowa. But, hearing them talk about that and going out there and doing that for Taylor and then beating Ohio State as much as they did is just really awesome too.
Yeah, they didn't flinch. It was really impressive. And Addie Deal was like, just another day, just business as usual for her. And she talked about how it's a system that just fits her and the way she plays. Everyone's really spaced out. They move the ball so well. And she just feels so comfortable in her role. Everyone feels comfortable in their role. And it's going to be really exciting. They go on the road to LA next week. They play USC, who's not ranked, and then UCLA. I believe they're top 3.
I believe they're 3rd in the country right now.
So that'll be the ultimate test. But right now, hats off to Jan Jensen. That team is on a roll.
Yeah, that's going to be another true test for them going on the road. USC, a little down this year. They're still not playing with Juju, who was out with the knee injury from last year, tearing her ACL. She's not back. I believe she is redshirted the entire year this year just to get healthy and come back strong for her. But that game against UCLA is going to be a tough one. That's February 1st is when they play that game. So they have UCLA, I believe, on Thursday, or USC on Thursday, and then UCLA on Sunday the 1st. So that'll be another big game for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Somebody else that we haven't mentioned who's been playing really well for Iowa this year.
Journey Houston.
Journey Houston.
Yep.
She has played in different games, come in and done different things correctly and importantly for Iowa. They needed her to come in and guard. She's coming in and guard. They need her to come in and hit the boards. She's coming in. She's hit the boards. She's scored when she's needed to. I believe only had 2 points today. Is that right?
But she picked up a lot of rebounds.
But she's there getting rebounds, and she's in there, and sometimes in key moments. And now with the injury to McCabe, could be seeing some more minutes. Somebody that when she came in as her freshman year, you didn't know. I remember talking to her. She's like, I hope I get to play. I'm just looking for any opportunity that I can, whether that meant she needed to just get stronger, get better, and kind of work herself into shape to play at the college level. Not that she can't play at the college level, but on media day, that's kind of what she was saying. She's like, I got to do whatever I got to do to get ready to play. Obviously, she's done that. Obviously, Jan likes her. Otherwise, she's not going to be in the lineup, and she's been doing really, really well this year. I'm trying to look up some stats on her real quick. She is averaging – she's played in 19 games so far this year, averaging 4.5 points. Nothing wrong with that at all. So a good freshman season so far for Journey Houston. And she played quite a bit today too, didn't she?
She played off the bench. I don't remember exactly how many minutes she played. But she was getting in there and like I said, a lot of valuable rebounds for their team. They are a very good rebounding team. And to see Journey kind of undersized, get in there, be very physical, and just do the little stuff for them, that's been very impressive.
Let's quickly talk about, since we're up in Iowa City, let's talk about the Iowa men. Ben McCollum doing a great job.
Oh my gosh,
with this team this year. You just didn't know what to expect with Ben McCollum and the Iowa Hawkeyes this year. He brought a lot of guys over from Drake. Everybody was obviously Bennett Sturtz is the guy, and he's proven he is the guy. He's their go-to. They have struggled at times though when he's gotten in foul trouble. When he's gotten in foul trouble or he's not in the game for extended periods, sometimes they struggle scoring the ball at times. They figured it out a little bit with him not in recently, but they're I think 7th in the Big Ten right now. So they're playing pretty good right now.
The Big Ten is like 18 teams or something like that.
Teams.
Yeah, so they're in the top half.
They're so much better than they were last year when they were just trying to make the Big Ten tournament and missed. Because they were the 16th team or whatever it was in the top 14 or 15, I think, make the Big Ten tournament. So Ben McCollum doing a really good job.
Yeah, and I think, too, like, obviously, Cuff, we were at the media day, and Ben McCollum, the thing that stuck out to me that he kept saying is that he didn't want the team to have a sense of arrival, right? Because it's like a whole new crew, right? And I feel like they've done a really great job of not having that sense of arrival, right? Like, they came in, they're competing, and I just really like the vibe of this team. I told you that, too, after the media day. It's just they seem like they're all are happy for each other. And I know that's something he talked about, too, earlier on in the season is that, his starting 5, it might be mixed up. And he's like, the guys got to be ready to play for each other and not just for themselves. And I think they do a really good job of doing that. Like, I just really like their vibe as a team.
Currently on a 2-game win streak. They beat Indiana, which, again, was one of those games where Iowa almost got Darren DeVries, Indiana's coach, as their head coach, and then he went to Indiana instead of coming to Iowa. And then Ben McCollum goes to Indiana and beats them. So then you're like, okay, did they make the better choice? Obviously they did. And then they picked up a nice win against Rutgers. It was a closer game than they would have liked, but Iowa's playing some really good basketball on their home court. They're 10-1 overall.
The thing that really stands out to me watching them is just how unselfish they are as a team. You mentioned kind of everyone playing for each other. They really move the ball well. They are very efficient shooting it. I believe about 51% from the field and 37% from three. So they're very efficient. They take the right shots, and they don't turn the ball over. They make really good decisions. And I think that's what Ben McCollum has really hung his hat on with Drake, and he's now brought it over with this team. And it's not just been Bennett Sturtz. A lot of contributors. I don't think anyone had Tate Sage on our radar, right?
Yeah.
A freshman.
Yeah. And so Tate Sage has been big. Cooper Koch, Isaiah Howard, a little undersized guard, but he's making a big impact. So you have a lot of pieces that are just coming together, and they're finding ways to get the job done. Now, it's been tough to finish against some of these ranked teams, losing single digits to Purdue, to Illinois, close games where they're right there. So it's kind of that team where it's like Big Ten is just, there's levels to it, right? But they're being competitive in these games. That's all you can really ask for in year one.
You mentioned efficiency, and that was something in his opening press conference he talked about. He's like, we need to be efficient. If you play good defense, you get a turnover, you get a run out, you put the ball in the hoop, you score, you can then set up your defense to either have a press or whatever, not let them run and get out. It's like the more you can do that, the better you are scoring. Right now, Iowa's 19th in efficiency in the NCAA. So that's all teams. Illinois actually leads.
You're talking about Ken Palm, right?
NCAA team efficiency, offensive efficiency right now. Yeah. So Ken Palm, I didn't even look at that. Illinois.
I'm a big Ken Palm guy.
We'll talk about it.
Illinois is right up there.
Illinois is one of the top in Ken Palm, but yes. So Iowa's doing a good job there. I believe their next game, they are out on the West Coast as well. They play USC. I believe that is a Wednesday game. So they're at home Wednesday against USC, and then they head out to the West Coast. They have Oregon and Washington. So they're playing better. And again, if you had Iowa at this point as a 14, I believe they're 14-5. Yeah, 14-5 team, 10-1 at home. Good for you, because I didn't see that, because again, you just don't know what you're going to get. Obviously, some of these guys, Bennett Sturtz and some of these guys from Drake, have played with him for a year, and Sturtz has played with him since the D2 level. But you just didn't know what to expect. He's starting to get some of the fans back in the seats, which is the biggest thing, because the fans were not there the past couple of years under Fran McCaffrey. And Iowa had some good talent, they weren't winning. So that's why things got stale, and Fran was let go, and they hired Ben. So to be 10-1, neutral sites are 3-0. They're on a 2-game win streak, 4-4 in conference play. It's where they need to be. This middle half of the schedule is good. Their back half is going to be really hard, because they still have games at home against Purdue, at home against Nebraska. They still have to play Ohio State. They still have to play Michigan, and then they finish on the road at Nebraska. Yeah, so they have some really tough games down the stretch. So if they can get these wins early in the season like they have been and continue this nice little run, Iowa's going to make the NCAA tournament, I believe. Right now, they're like an 8-9 seed right now. They only need 6 wins to get to 20. If you can get to 20 wins in the Big Ten, you got a good chance of making the NCAA tournament. So I think they can do that. We'll have to wait and see. So
they're playing with nothing to lose, though. No one expected this.
That's the best thing when you're playing with house money. Yep. Just let it ride sometimes, right? So. How about we go down to Champaign?
Yes. There's a lot to talk about.
Let's talk about Illinois, and I'll let you start.
Yes.
They just picked up a huge win.
Oh my gosh! So they beat number 4 Purdue at Purdue, 88-82, and it was their first win at Mackey Arena since 2020. So huge win for Illinois, and I'm not going to bury the lead. Keaton Wagler, we got to talk about it. 46 points. Yeah. Who? If you're asking who, then you got to be more into the college basketball game, because he has been star freshman for Illinois. 46 points. He was 13 of 17 from the field and 9 of 11 from 3. So really great stats. He is the most points ever scored by an Illinois freshman, tied for the second most points by an Illinois player, and it was also the most points in a road win against the top 10 team in AP poll history. So a lot of stats, record-breaking day for Keaton Wagler. It's like everything. It's like he just wasn't missing. It's crazy. Really, really big win for Illinois. Really exciting for them.
I believe Wagler's 46 is the most ever scored at Mackey. Doesn't matter Purdue or not Purdue. I believe that was a Mackey record as
Oh
well.
my gosh.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But he's kind of been their go-to guy, really. Which, if you think about it, a freshman that Brad Underwood never saw play in person.
Yeah.
Wow.
He offered him by just seeing video and offered him a scholarship, and he came. And obviously, I was listening to the broadcast. This is why I know this. He's gotten used to doing that because when he's watching all these international players, he can't go over and see them play, so he's just watching video. He watched video of Wagler, and he's just like, yeah, give that guy a scholarship. Just offer it to him now. Good job by him, obviously, by judging the talent. But there was 3 freshmen, Wagler, AJ Bonsa?
Okay.
I don't know how to say his name.
I'll help you out.
How do you say it? I don't even know how to say his name.
AJ DeBonsa.
There you go. He
Yes.
scored 40, and somebody else, another freshman, scored 40. There's 3 freshmen yesterday.
From
scored,
Houston.
Yeah, all scored 40 points yesterday, which was really, really cool.
Crazy.
But another big thing with Illinois, you're without Kylan Boswell
Exactly,
right now.
yeah.
So he breaks his hand early in the week. So you're thinking, all right, who's going to step up? Who's going to run point? Wagler's the guy. I mean, period. He's the guy. Everybody else everything funnels through him, which is kind of weird to think that way, but that's just how it is. But they've got so many guys that can score.
Oh, yeah. And I think, too, from the Illinois-Iowa game, Jonah, when you were there and you talked to Kylan Boswell, something that stuck out from what he said is, obviously Kylan's one of the team leaders for sure. And he said with Keaton, he automatically, he earned his respect. And he, saw that right off the bat. And just just see how Wagler has shined there is just so fun. And just see how some other people have shined too. Jake Davis has really stepped up this year for Illinois.
Well, he's gotten to play more with the Boswell injury. So, yeah, he's been playing well. And then your Ivisic brothers.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
They're playing well. So, and then Andrei
Stojakovic.
It's a team that just has NBA guys. Like Stojakovic the other night had 30.
Yeah, 30, yeah.
It's just any night it can be one of these guys' nights to go off. David Mirkovic is only a freshman. Doesn't look like a freshman. He's got a really good physical build to him, and he is an all-around great player. The Ivisic, Tomislav had a great year last year, and he's kind of taken a step back, and he's taken a lesser role. But it just shows you how loaded they are, that they don't even need him to have a great game every night too. They are just loaded with so much talent. And I just looked it up on KenPom. They are the number 1 team in offensive efficiency on KenPom. So they shoot the right shots, and they move the ball so well. Again, anyone can have 30 on any given night, really.
Right. And I think that's what makes Illinois so tough to guard right now. Because, obviously, coming in now, you've got a game plan for Wagler. Well, doesn't mean Stojakovic can't go off and have another 30-point night. If you try to stop those two, well, the Ivisic brothers, they can shoot the 3 as 7-footers. They can shoot it no problem. You said he's taken a step back, but it's maybe he's not even taking a step back because his points have been taken away because somebody else is scoring.
Exactly.
So they don't have to have him scoring. I believe there was a possession against Purdue where he had 3 offensive rebounds, kept it alive, and then somebody, I think it was Jake Davis, ended up hitting the 3 at the end of that sequence. So it was just one of those things. It's like, how do you guard that when they're getting offensive boards and killing you on the boards? We got 2 7-footers in there at the same time. That's hard to do.
There's so much shooting, too. Everyone can shoot the ball. It's literally like the modern-day NBA team. Brad Underwood does it with guys like Keaton Wagler, who was under-recruited. I think he only had a couple Power 4 offers out of high school, and then he gets it done with these international guys. It's really like an NBA team, the way he kind of creates his roster.
They are on a 9-game win streak right now. So they, after that game against Purdue, they're at home against Washington. That is on the 29th. I believe that is a Thursday night game. Then the big one is on February 1st on Sunday. Next Sunday, they play Nebraska at Nebraska.
Yeah.
Undefeated Nebraska. Who would have thought?
And who saw that coming? I mean, seriously.
Yeah. Bryce Sanford's playing very well.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what about that game. That's in Nebraska, in Lincoln.
Nebraska,
Remember, Nebraska came to Champaign and they beat Illinois on a buzzer beater.
Right.
So you got to imagine Illinois has some revenge on their minds going into that game.
That's going to be a good game. I don't know if it's going to be, as far as like pace-wise, I would imagine that it's going to be 2 teams that are going to want to get up and down the floor a little bit. But again, it's going to have 2 good coaches with Fred Hoiberg and Brad Underwood going head-to-head. and then you got all this talent on the floor. You know, nobody. And if you thought Nebraska was going to be 20-0, please let me know, because I will call you out, because there's no way anybody saw Nebraska starting the season 20-0. They're what, 7th or something like that in the country, I think is what they are right now. No way did anybody see that coming, but they're playing really good basketball. That's going to be a fun game to watch next week. Can we talk about anything else about the Iowa men or the Illinois men?
No, but we got to talk about the Illinois women. I know you
Absolutely,
were going that
yes,
way.
absolutely.
Are you okay if I start out here?
Please.
I think going into this season, there were a lot of question marks for the Illinois women, right? Because you lose Kendall Bostic, Genesis Bryant, Makaira Cook. Like, you lose all of they had such a good crew of women that were there, and they were there for a long time, right? Shauna Green maintained them there. They graduated, right? So it's like the very young team. And I know Shauna Green was saying that, a young team, they got to get experience. You don't really know what to expect, right? And now you have these players. You have Barry Wallace, Gretchen Dolan, Ciara Parchment, these players that are really stepping up and filling those gaps that were left with all of the players graduating before. And I think it's just very impressive how they've been this season, being a younger group that, again, a lot of playmakers that have really stepped up, and they're very fun to watch. And I think it's just a testament, obviously not just to the players, but to Shauna Green and her coaching.
You mentioned Sierra, another freshman, Destiny
Yes.
Jackson. Mm-hmm. She's from Whitney Young up in the Chicagoland area. She was a 5-star recruit coming out of Chicago. Mm-hmm. And I remember talking to Shauna last year about her, and she's like, yeah, I'm excited about her. She's going to be really good. And so far she has been. But you got 2 freshmen that are really, contributing. And then Aaliyah Guyton coming over from Iowa to play with Illinois. Mm-hmm. Shauna Green's done a good job. They were briefly ranked in the top 25, and then they lost the game, so they dropped back out. But if you look at I need to pull up the the standings of the Big Ten women, but I believe there is at least 7, if not 8, women's team that are ranked in the top 25, which is very interesting, because to me that's one of the toughest leagues in the country. Because you got UCLA, obviously, is up there. They're number 3, I believe, in the country is what UCLA is. Iowa is at 10, Michigan 7, Michigan State 13, Ohio State 12, and Washington Huskies are at 25, and Nebraska is at 24. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 total. Iowa or Illinois is right there on the cusp. Yeah. What are they overall? They're 5-4.
15-5.
Yeah, 5-4 in the Big Ten and 15-5 overall. So they're right there. They're probably one of those top ones receiving votes. Mm-hmm. That says something for Shauna Green. I believe every year, the last 3 years, I believe, her teams have all been ranked at some point in time during the season. So a great job by her. Great job coaching. Bringing her back to high school real quick. Shauna Green's high school record of 36 points just recently got broken by Jayliana Green.
Jayliana
Guy.
All the G names.
All the G names. Jayliana Guy. And what was I don't remember Shauna's.
Shauna Garrison.
Yes.
You're so good with
Shauna Garrison. She scored 36 in the game. Jayliana scored 36 earlier this year, I believe against Bettendorf earlier, wasn't it? No, it was early in the season. It was a home game. It was one of their first home games of the season. But then just this past week against Bettendorf, she scored 37, and that's a new school record.
Yeah.
Shauna Garrison, now Shauna Green, her high school record. So that's kind of interesting there. Anything else with the Illinois women? I think schedule-wise, they play UCLA on Wednesday.
Yeah. That's going to be tough.
Yeah.
UCLA is at home though, so that should be a good game. And then Washington at Oregon, their next couple games. So that's a really tough 3-game stretch. 2 of those 3 are ranked, and then you're going out to Oregon. So that trip out west is never easy for the Big Ten teams to go out that way. So
one more stat just about their schedule. Just looking at the losses on the season, only one of their losses out of their 5 has been by more than 10 points. That was against Michigan when they lost by 16. But other than that, these ranked losses that they have to Michigan State, Ohio State, now Nebraska, they lost to Oregon State earlier in the season. That wasn't a ranked loss, but those 3 losses have been by single digits, and then they beat Maryland,
Yeah.
a top 10 team in the
Handed
country.
them their first loss with
Yes.
that, yeah.
So this is a team that's showing signs. I think they can get to the tournament, and who knows, with a young team, you never know once you make it into the tournament if they can get on a run. So it's going to be interesting. They're kind of playing with house money.
Mm-hmm.
She has a very young team, and they're just growing right now, kind of at the beginning of that kind of stage.
Yeah, and Shauna Green's had some good success in the postseason stuff, too. I mean, the Illinois women made the tournament last year, and the year before they were the WNIT champions. CBIT, oh my gosh.
There's so many
I thought it would be, that's interesting. Okay, so it's the CBIT. Okay, well, anyway, they won that. They were the champions of that,
That's
too.
the first time
so
Illinois women had ever won
Yeah.
a tournament.
Wow.
So that was cool
really,
for them.
really good for them.
Briefly, can we talk real quickly about Iowa State? Obviously, the men started off fantastic, lost, 3 or 4 in a row, whatever it was, and then...
Yeah, I think it was 2. They lost to Kansas and Cincinnati.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then now they've bounced back with a couple nice wins. They're a team that can be scary good when they're playing.
Yes.
They're a team that when they were number 3 in the country, actually they were number 2, I think, as high as they got, weren't they? Everybody's like, oh, this is a national championship team. Don't count them out just because they lost a few games.
Yeah.
The Big 12 is tough. Right now, the team that's leading the country in rankings is Arizona.
Yep.
You're happy about that one, right? Come on.
No.
No, you like Arizona State better?
I went to ASU.
But you did grow up a Arizona fan.
You
I
did
did grow
fan.
up, so U of A fan.
Whatever it is.
NAU.
AU, that's gold. Come on.
So, okay.
Oh my God.
I choose not to go into detail about this, but yes, there's a part of me that's happy about this. I share allegiances. That's all.
This is like him being
weird.
a Steelers
I
and a
know.
Cardinals fan. You like having your dual teams. You know,
I like
you
to have
got
my cake
two.
and
you
eat
got,
it too.
Right?
You got 2 options.
So when one team's bad, my other team's going to be good.
He has his backup.
nice.
But okay, my question to you then is, out of Arizona State and Arizona,
Yeah.
who's the number 1 and who's the backup? And is that a hard question? Do you have an answer?
It's
I
tough.
put him on the spot.
Good job.
Arizona State's my alma mater, but I grew up watching and rooting for U of A. They're kind of my childhood team. Right now, Arizona, probably.
If they were to step on the court, you're rooting for Arizona.
Yes.
Okay. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
He's just rooting for all the
it's
teams
tough.
to have fun and to have a good game.
Yes.
Can everybody just win? That's all we
Yeah.
There's a joke there, but I can't say it on this. So.
Oh my gosh.
Moving on.
So anyway, the Iowa State women also started off really well. They lost, I believe. They were the ones that lost 5 in a row.
Yeah, it's because this is when Addie Brown went out. When
Right.
she got hurt, that's when it started to kind of downward spiral a little bit.
They've bounced back, though.
Yes.
They've started to bounce back. And can we just talk about how good Audie Crooks is?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Nation's leading scorer.
Yes.
For me, this has been fun because you had Caitlin Clark, who was the best player in the country for 2-3 years. And then Audie Crooks was a freshman when Caitlin was a senior, I believe that's how it was.
Yeah.
And then now Audie, not that Audie's taking over, but she's kind of winning people over because she's had, I think, 3 or 4 40-point games. She's a double-double machine. She's just a fun person to be around and watch her play. The joy that she has when she plays is really, really cool. Coming out of high school, there were a lot of people I talked to that they didn't know how she would translate to the college game, and she's translated just fine. Everything she's done has been great, and as she goes, Iowa State goes, and everybody knows stop Audie, stop Iowa State, except when Addie Brown starts hitting threes.
Yeah. And I remember you were talking about when Audie Crooks was a freshman when Caitlin was a senior. Well, during that March Madness run, I remember we were in Omaha, and there was one night where you went back to the hotel, you went to bed, and I went out with some of the sports reporters.
As a responsible person that I am.
But I went out there, and that was the night, I can't remember the exact stat, but that's the night that Audie, went off in, during March Madness. And I remember, we were just all sitting there, and then, we were like, wait, she scored like that, and I can see you typing, Cuff's looking up the number because I don't remember off the top of my head. But that was the moment for me when I heard that. I was like, oh my gosh, because again, she was a freshman in the NCAA tournament, had how many points? Almost there.
Keep stalling.
Okay. But anyway, that was the moment where I was like, okay, this, at that point I was just here for a couple months. It was like
She scored 40.
40 points. Okay, that was what, my third month on the job, second month, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
And so I'm still learning the area, learning the teams, and at that point, that was my, okay, Audie Crooks, like, that's the name I gotta remember, like, she, you know, and then she's just gone off. Like, it's so cool to see, again, that trajectory of just, like, seeing her kind of develop into this, just, like, this star, and, like, being able to do what she does is just incredible.
It was a new NCAA single game record for freshman scoring.
Yeah.
24 points, 12 rebounds. It was against Maryland. It doesn't say which round it was in, but it was against Maryland, so I'm guessing it might have been second or third round probably.
Yeah.
Because it was the first round of the match, so it could have been first round.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been first round. Either way, yeah, big performance by her. And again, she's the person you think of when you think of Iowa State. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, again, all 6 of our teams, the
Pretty
3 women's
good.
teams from Iowa, Illinois, and Iowa State, Illinois, Iowa, Iowa State men, all playing well.
Yeah.
All that means
It's exciting.
is that we're going to be busy.
We're going to be busy in March.
I was just going to say, all that means is more work for us.
That's all it means. It's also called job security. Let's be real. I mean, the better our teams do, the more we have to go cover things. That's called job security.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
All right. Enough college high school.
High school. It's
basketball
time.
stuff. Let's talk a little high school basketball.
Heck yeah.
Let's start on the Iowa side.
Should we just start with the score in general?
We can.
Talk about how the score's been. I mean,
Yeah.
basketball, talk about the score, and then we'll get into specifics. So I'm flipping the script, Cuff. I'm going to ask you a question.
She's taking over the
I'm
show.
taking over the podcast. No
She
kidding.
punches the button. She's already in charge.
So,
Why
score.
Why do you have it on me while you're talking?
That's a good point. I'm looking at the camera. He had a good point there. Okay. So we're through 3 weeks of the score now. So this is your second basketball season as sports director.
Yes.
So how has it been going for you so far? What have you enjoyed about the score? Anything you didn't expect so far the 3 weeks? What have you enjoyed?
I enjoy actually all of it. From the getting the schedules to putting it together to getting the swings to getting the phone calls on Friday night, which was something new last year. Everybody was called Matt, and now they all call me, and I'm just like, oh, I've got to answer all these phone calls, which is great. Don't get me wrong. It means I know everything that's going on.
Yeah.
No, it's been fun. I enjoy that part of it because that part of it to me is much more important than the on-air part of it. Because if the behind the scenes, if the getting the rundown together, making sure everybody gets to their games okay, doesn't go well, then the show's not going to go well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been fun. The other thing that I've enjoyed is that we now do streaming for at least 15 minutes after the show. So if you haven't seen the score yet, I'm looking right at you all right now. If you haven't seen the score yet, 1, shame on you. 2, make sure you watch because we do 15 minutes extra of streaming. Nobody else does this in the area. We're the only ones to do this. So make sure you switch over and watch us exclusively because some of the other stations aren't even close to what we do, especially with the stream. So turn over, watch us do our streaming stuff. It's a lot of fun. Brian Stocking has all kinds of stats.
And the other stations don't have Brian Stocking.
They don't have Brian Stocking. They don't have the outlandish fool's gold that he likes to give, all the scores that he likes to give. Plus, we have some great sponsors this year.
We got Harris Pizza.
And 3 other ones, Carperland, Midwest Bass. And I'm always missing one. There's always one that I miss. I don't remember what it is.
I don't
look it up.
Yeah, I don't
sorry,
know
I'm
off
sorry
the top
I
of my
didn't
head.
mention you. I'll look it up and I'll find it. No, it's been fun. So 3 weeks in, what do you guys like?
Ooh.
I was gonna say the streaming show.
Okay.
I really like the streaming element of it. It's almost like a podcast kind of relaxed. We're very relaxed. It's off the air.
You're not relaxed during the show?
I'm always relaxed. I'm always ready to go. But it's just we kind of just get to slow down a little bit, talk about the games that we saw during the night, and then Brian Stocking always brings the stats and the stories and the history. So all of it is just I love the streaming part. Just kind of we all get to unload everything that we saw from the night and give our thoughts.
Yeah. As for me, that's not the right button. That I put Cuff on the screen. I don't know. I mean, as you guys know, I love shooting. That's probably my favorite part of what we do. I love being out in the field shooting the games. And I love the adrenaline rush. I feel like I'm an adrenaline junkie with that stuff. So I enjoy the swings, and Cuff, I love that you give me the crazy swings. I love going to like 4 games, getting them mic'd up. I love getting them mic'd up with coaches. That's probably something I've enjoyed a lot because I think I've done a mic'd up almost every week. Yeah. And I just love the behind the scenes of going to the locker room or the team meeting room before the game, hearing what the coaches have to say. Because I did one with Kathy Marks from Clinton, and I did one with Alvin Vesey from Bettendorf. And that was just, it's really fun to hear the coach's message to the players beforehand. And some of the strat, which obviously you're not going to show that. You guys don't get to see that. But it is really fun to hear them strategize and to just talk through the game plan. I really love that behind the scenes thing. But again, I do love the rush of, okay, I'm going to like 4 games. Like the one week, I'm like, okay, I'm an hour out. I have 4 games. I got to hit everything timed perfectly, get everything done, and get back in time to be on air for the show. And that's the stuff that I know the viewers don't get to see that behind the scenes. And I love the behind the scenes. That stuff is so much fun to me. But also the adrenaline rush you get during the show when we're like flipping through our scripts and we're going through stuff and we're just passing it back and forth between the 3 of us of what we're doing. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just a lot of fun. Maybe that's what I like about it. It's just fun. Like, I feel like it's just all so much fun. And it's like, that's the part of the job that, like, it doesn't even feel like work. I'm like, oh my gosh, I get to go shoot a game and then come and talk about the game. It's like, and then it's like, that's my job. Like, I don't know. Right. So I guess the answer is everything. I enjoy everything.
Our sponsors, Carpetland, Harris Pizza, Mars, and Midwest Bank.
Midwest Bank!
You got it.
Those are the 4. So I got to remember that. It's got to be in my
gosh. You always remember Carpetland. Shout out to Carpetland.
And Harris Pizza because there's pizza on the set every week. But we definitely appreciate them.
Shout out to Harris Pizza. It's good pizza.
Okay, so the score in general we talked about. Let's go on the Iowa side. Let's talk Iowa side first. Boys team out there that we've enjoyed watching so far.
Ooh, that's so tough.
On the Iowa side,
On
right?
the Iowa side.
Iowa side. Okay, I'll go first. Because I talked to a lot of them on the Score Sunday. And I'll pick these 2 because I've talked to them on the Score Sunday, but I'm going to disclaimer, all the teams are fun to watch, every single one. But I'm going to go with Bettendorf. First of all, and Joan, I know you're going to agree because you made a comment about it in your highlights the other day. I love Bettendorf's ball movement.
Yeah.
They're so much fun to watch. And it's like, they just, I don't know, they're just, they're fun to watch. Bettendorf's really fun.
They defend,
and,
too.
Yeah. And Muscatine. And Muscatine.
You can't take both.
I'm sorry, but
we
they
can
were.
still talk about
But Muscatine, I won't talk too much, but they were on the Score Sunday, too. And, again, those are the leaders in the MAC, right? Bettendorf's in the 1 spot. Muscatine's in the 2nd spot. North Scott's also in there. They just dropped to the 3rd spot after Muscatine beat them on Thursday. Muscatine is also really fun to watch. I mean, with, again, like Spencer Bia, Talon Becker. They have some fun talent. And I know, Joan, I know you're going to talk about them. I'm not going to steal your thunder, but I know you like talking about how there isn't their traditional point guard, right? Because they're all...
You listened to my sound from yesterday.
Because
I was trying to get the words out.
I know. But, it's like they're all, like, 6 foot or taller. I almost steal your thunder. John, I'm passing it to you.
So I was at the Eric Ottens Memorial Shootout yesterday. Very fun shootout. A lot of competitive games.
And for a great cause, by the way.
Yes.
Eric Ottens
died tragically in an automobile accident
20 years ago.
2006, right? Yeah.
So they have this great tournament over at Fulton. And Muscatine is playing the 14th ranked team in Illinois. So they're going across the river.
East Peoria.
East Peoria. And they were telling me about the adjustment of the long bus ride, playing with a shot clock, no shot clock, excuse me.
Which they did tell me on the Score Sunday that they actually kind of enjoyed the no shot clock, off the record, but on the record.
On the record
they said they kind of liked it, besides when they had to defend for like 2 minutes. They said they didn't like that, but they enjoyed being able to take their time for the shot. But okay.
And when they have a lead, they can just hold on to the ball.
Right.
Yes, but Muscatine, they really answered the call with the physicality from East Peoria. They were pressing up on them the entire game, and Spencer Bia and the guys, they were just really intense, and they moved the ball. They kind of just drove it in, and they answered that physicality really impressive. So they have – I looked at their roster yesterday, and the majority of their team is like between 6 foot and 6'4".
They're tall.
Well, there's not –
5'5" is tall to you.
That is true.
You got to think in basketball, lingo, that's not. I mean, it's good size. It's versatile.
In high school, it's good size.
Yes, it's good size, but they don't have like an overly tall big man. and they don't have a traditional point guard who can facilitate. So everyone really pitches in. It's kind of a wing-centered team, and they just get the job done, really, without a crazy tall guy or a point guard. And they said it in the sound. They played together for a long time. They trust each other, and they get it done with that versatile size. It's very impressive to see.
For me, it's been really fun to see Bettendorf.
Yes.
A team that when they had the banquet at the beginning of the season, and the coaches rank the teams, Bettendorf was not the team that everybody picked to win.
Oh, who was the team?
Muscatine was the team everybody picked to win. I believe it went Muscatine, Davenport, North Scott, and then maybe Bettendorf after that.
Okay.
So they might have been fifth. So it's been really fun to see what Alvin Vesey's been able to do with this team. A younger team. They do have some seniors, but they are relatively young. And not at this point, they're not inexperienced. But at the beginning of the year, they didn't have a lot of guys that had a lot of varsity minutes that were playing and starting. So inexperienced that way. 13 games in, not experienced anymore. But they're 9-1. They're leading the MAC. They lost their first game just the other day to North Scott, which was a really good game. North Scott scored the last 15 points of the game to end up winning that game. So they've been fun to watch. Josiah Harrington is, to me, the best player in the MAC, hands down. He can handle it. He can shoot the three. He can get to the rim. He can throw it down. Anything you need him to do, he can do. He's going to Iowa State next year, so he's been fun to watch for sure. And then you got Davenport North, who's a very athletic team. Coach Marquez Davis is doing a great job over there. And then Davenport Central is 5-5, again, athletic team. And then Pleasant Valley. Pleasant Valley is right now sixth, I guess tied for sixth, if you will, or tied for fourth, but they'd be sixth if you look at the rankings right now. And they're at 5-5. And Steve Hillman always has a good team. They've got some really tall players on their team, some length. So there's some really good teams, and after that is Assumption. So those top 7 teams on any given night, any one of them could win.
And I'm glad you bring up PV because I feel like you can never overlook PV in any sport. They're very, very talented athletes over there. But I feel like with the MAC basketball right now, they've been kind of forgotten about a little bit because you said they're kind of down a little bit lower. But I went and talked to Coach Hillman a couple weeks ago, and all the games they've lost have been pretty close, and they're right there in it. So I'm glad you bring them up, too, because they're also right up in there. And that's what's been so fun is that MAC race. There's so many of our boys MAC teams, girls MAC teams as well, but teams that are just very good just at the top right now, and they've been really fun to watch.
7 games left in the MAC to decide who's going to win the MAC championship this year. So should be an interesting race as we wrap up the rest of January and into February before we hit postseason play. Let's shift over to the girls now. Iowa girls will stay on the Iowa side. And before we talk about any other team, let's talk about Maquoketa, the number 1 team in the state in Class 3A. First, I want to thank them for reaching out to us. I guess it was Andrew Kroyman, Aubrey Kroyman's dad, reached out and said, hey, they'd love to do a promo with us. We shot a promo with them a week ago. Which was a lot of fun. If you haven't seen it, we're going to post it up on our social medias, as well as it's going to start running on WQAD as well. But they are loaded. They are good.
Yeah.
They have 2 losses all year. They lost to Iowa City High, and they lost to Iowa City Liberty this year.
2 5A schools, and they were both very close games, too.
Yes, close games. And they even mentioned, they said, that was good experience for us because they know the teams in 3A are good, but they're not that good as what's up in 5A. So that was a good test for them, and I believe they just won the other night, last night against Cascade as well. So they're still undefeated against all Class 3A schools, undefeated in their conference right now. So they're playing some really good basketball. If you haven't seen them, get out and watch them play. All right, MAC girls.
Yeah.
Who's a team that you like to watch?
I mean, Joan and I are going to have the same answer, and he did the story, so I'm going to let him give the answer.
You give me the honors.
Well,
this
yeah,
time.
they're your girls now. You did the story.
So Central DeWitt is at the top of the MAC. They're 11-0 in the conference, 13-1 overall, and we've talked about it on the score at this point now. But when Lauren Walker left, we were wondering who was going to step up, and it's been a team effort with Kinley Burt, the point guard. She's really commanding the team. I think she's the team leader in assists. And Emma and Ava Putman, the 2 sisters, are the top 2 scorers. And Ava, we knew from her last year how good she is. But Emma has been a sharpshooter for the team. She's shooting at around 40% from 3, if I had to check. So very good. And they have another set of sisters in Zoe and Audie Fogelsang. Very cool as well. And Landry Ruggeberg is also a senior. So they have a very good upperclassmen, group of upperclassmen. And it's very cool to see they played together as a team very well. Because, like we said, no crazy, outstanding scorer. Everyone pitches in.
Yeah, and I talked to Ron O'Brien after Central DeWitt's win over North Scott, and he said kind of what you were saying, just like there's 5 seniors on the team, and just how important their leadership has been and how they've sort of gelled this group together and how, again, they've found a way to replace Lauren Walker.
Yeah.
But also want to mention with them, they lost their very first game against Iowa City High, and they haven't lost since. They just keep winning, which how many games in a row is that now? You just had their schedule pulled up. Is it? Because it was 13. So they've won 13 straight. Yeah. They had that first loss, and again, Ron O'Brien told me it's like, they kind of stunned them a little bit, and they kind of readjusted, and they've just been going. They're red hot right now. So
something else.
By the way,
go ahead.
Emma Putman, I said 40%. She's shooting at 46% from 3.
Nice.
40, 46, pretty close. Either way.
Not bad.
Ron O'Brien does not get enough credit for how good of a coach he is.
Oh, yeah.
And he will deflect. It's players. Whatever. Yes, they're executing, but he's the head coach, and he's getting them to play as a team. So he is a really good head coach, and sometimes I think that gets lost in the shuffle of how good this team is. They're as good as their coach. He is a really, really good coach. But this year may be the deepest that the MAC has ever been.
Yeah.
There are 6 teams that are really good. The bottom 3, they play hard. They're doing well. But it's hard for them to get some wins because the other 6 teams are so good.
Yeah, but we have seen some improvement from those teams. Like Davenport Central, I feel like has taken a really big step forward this year.
They've got 2 wins. Muscatine's got 1. North is still looking for their first win of the year. But when you have Pleasant Valley at 9-3, Assumption 9-3, Bettendorf 9-3, all in second place, and then North Scott and Clinton are both at 7-5, and Clinton may have the best player in the MAC on their team as a sophomore, Juliana Guy, who we kind of mentioned earlier in this podcast. But Bettendorf has maybe, if not the best player, the second best player, or their 1A, 1B,
and they're cousins.
They're cousins. It's Olivia McCorkle, who's going to Houston to play basketball. And she's had 33 the other night against Clinton, and they ended up beating Clinton up at York's Gym, which is a really good basketball game. But she facilitates for them. Everything goes through her, and she makes them work, and they've got some great pieces around here. Addie Wolfel, just to mention one that comes up to the top of my head. But Pleasant Valley and Jennifer Getz is doing a great job over there, as always.
Oh, yeah. And they found a way, because they lost Reagan Pagliano, the really good
Quinn
point guard.
Weiss.
Yeah. And, they have a younger group, too, and they've all really stepped up, with, like, Ella Rubel and company. Peyton, our score standout.
Peterson, sorry.
Yeah, our score standout winner. So, they're really stepping up, too.
And then you got Assumption, who's right there at 9-3. They got Anna Timmons, Gabby Stoffergren, who they're playing really well for Jake Tim. North Scott, the Rucker coaches, are doing a great job with their crew. They picked up, I believe they beat Bettendorf.
They just beat them
last week.
At Bettendorf.
And then beat Muscatine, so they're on a couple game
wins.
Which
I just got to say something about that. I love watching Elena Dreckmeyer play basketball. I feel like she's good, and I feel like we don't get to mention her a lot, but I just think she has really good court vision. Some of the passes she makes sometimes, I'm like, okay, girl, like she's really fun to watch.
So the MAC girls, obviously exciting and fun to watch. All right, let's jump over to the Illinois side. Let's stay with the girls, and we'll talk Illinois girls. Let's go Western Big Six, or if there's another team out there that you can think of, like a Riverdale or a Sherrard or something like that, that's been playing pretty well. Right now, I believe currently leading the Big Six is Galesburg. They have 1 loss on the year, which is early in the season. They're ranked 2nd in the state in Class 3A. Lexi DeMont is doing a great job coaching there. She had a really good season last year. She's having a really good season this year as a head coach. They got the Hirschenroder triplets, and a couple other girls along the way, but they're playing some really good basketball. They're leading the Western Big Six right now. Right behind them, I believe, is Quincy, and then you got Sterling, Moline, Alleman, all kind of right there.
Yeah.
And I'll let you talk a little bit about Sterling.
Yeah, so obviously the Sterling girls had a fantastic year last year. They won the Western Big Six for the first time in program history, regional title, sectional title, great historic season last year, 30 wins. And, and they lost Madison Austin, right? They're big. She went to Illinois State, D1 player. So trying to find that, because they don't have really, they're not really a tall team, right? And so it's just trying to replace Madison, I know, was something that they struggled with a little bit. But they're finding their way and doing it, and they're still right up in there, right? And they have those players like, again, I did a story over the James sisters. You got Jocelyn James is so good. She hit her 1,000th career point. She was the 10th Sterling Golden Warrior to do that in the program history. So she's having a great year. Her sister Jalen James right there. Those two on the court are really fun to watch. Nia Harris, she does some good stuff for the team as well. I think they're a fun group to watch. And they have had some close losses, and that brings me to, like, Moline. I've been impressed watching them, too, because they got the win over Sterling when they played there. And I feel like people, since Galesburg and Sterling were so good last year, I feel like that's all the buzz I feel like I kind of heard going into this season. I didn't really hear a lot about Moline, and it's exciting to see them playing really well. I mean, Anaya Dixon's really good. She's fun to watch play, too. And Roderica, did I say? Roderica, I want to make sure I said that. Yeah. She's really good as well.
Adeline Voss.
Adeline Voss. How did I forget Adeline Voss? 1,500 career points. That is insane. So, yeah, big congrats to Adeline. That's awesome. And Adeline Ellsbury from Sherrard, 1,000 career points. So a lot of milestones for some of our local athletes. But, yeah, so it's just fun. Just basketball is so fun. Basketball is fun.
If you're just throwing out girls that have hit 1,000 points, let's include Megan Hawkey.
Yes.
She just recently got hers for Allman. She needed 2 points and got those at the free throw line, which is cool for her.
Yeah.
Some really good basketball on that side of the river with the Western Big Six. Riverdale girls are playing well. Sherrard girls are playing well. So the track is pretty competitive right now as well. So let's go to the Western Big Six boys.
This is you.
Can I start?
It's
my team.
You.
It's not my team. It's just my alma mater. The Moline boys, 8-0.
It's impressive.
In the Western Big Six. And if you told me that they were going to be 8-0 at the beginning of the season, I said no way, because the top two teams coming into the year, Rock Island, who is loaded with talent, and United Township, who's very senior laden. Moline's now beaten UT twice. They have Rocky coming up on Friday, which is going to be a great game over at the Fieldhouse. Moline has been doing it by committee, pretty much. I mean, Brady Welch is the guy, but then you've got Josh Hendricks, who's been stepping up. Alante Anderson has been playing well this year. You got Ethan Marks. You got Abe, and I cannot remember Abe's last name. Ami Singh comes off the bench, and sometimes he starts, sometimes he comes off the bench. Kazari Blama. They've got a lot of guys that they kind of throw in and out. Everybody knows their role with this team. That's kind of what's been impressive. And I mentioned how good Ron O'Brien is as a coach.
Sean
Taylor can coach. Yeah. Because they were down to UT the other night, came back and won. I believe it was 40-33 was the final score in that one. To improve to 8-0. But, he can coach. They can play. Brady Welch has been fun to watch this year.
A sign of a great coach is when you have a team that's maybe not as athletic, not as talented, but he squeezes the most out of that team. And I think I saw that up close and personal when they went to Rock Island and beat them in overtime. You mentioned it, Rock Island has so much talent, way more talent. But Moline just finds a way to work as a team, and they're very physical. They don't have a ton of size, but they're very physical, and they're not afraid. So it's very cool to see Sean Taylor get the most out of that group.
So that game against Rock Island coming up, who's also been playing really well. They got second at the State Farm Classic. Some of the names, some of the talent on that team. You got Arthur Abbey, Lawson Zulu, Devin Marshall. I'm sure I'm missing two other guys. Avion Thomas. Those are all four starters from last year. Arthur transferred over from Moline this year. So, but again, Devin scored 53 in a game, which is the school record now at Rock Island High School. So they've got a lot of talent. They like to get out and run. If they can pressure you, get some turnovers, and just get layup after layup, they are tough to beat. That's their style of play. The teams that have been successful against Rock Island so far have been able to slow them down a little bit.
Defend. Like Moline.
But again, that's something that Mark Polite, when I talked to him, he's like, if we have to play that style, we can play that style. They do have the players that can do it. So I think that game against Moline and Rock Island is going to go a long way into determining who is going to win the Western Big Six this year. Outside of those three teams in the Big Six, I mean, the rest of the league, they're playing hard, they're playing good. They're not up to the level those three teams are right now.
I think go separate from the Western Big Six.
Sure.
We have to talk about Newman.
Absolutely.
Undefeated. And I went out to a practice and talked to Coach Ray Sharp, and I watched that practice. As you guys know, we go to a lot of practices and stuff. It might have been one of the most disciplined groups. They were locked in the entire time. Like, there was no side chatter from the athletes. Like, they were doing their thing. And it's very much just, like, watching the way they practiced and how Coach Sharp kind of had it formatted. It was a little bit different, I feel like, than I've seen. And just, like, watching it, I was like, I'm not surprised that this team is playing as well as they are. You can just kind of, like, sense it. And, I talked to him about that. And obviously discipline is something they have very high up in their standards, which I know a lot of teams really prioritize that. But, he said, too, he's like, we've been playing hard. But he's like, we owe some of it to luck, some stuff, we just happen to be on the right side of it. But he also knows how hard his team is working to be where they're at. And so that's a really fun group. And I think with them, too, is they just have, like, a lot of players that can just kind of go off, like George Youngerman, and you got Garrett. What's his last name?
Is it Matznick?
Yes, Garrett Matznick. You just have guys where it's like someone's gonna. There's just a lot of talent, right? I feel like they have some good depth. So Newman's really good.
Another team that's playing really good basketball is Mercer County and
Yeah.
Orion. Your guy Kyler Owens.
Kyler Owens.
He's over 1,000 points in his career.
This is
as
my
well.
city.
Yes.
So some really good talent, good basketball talent out there on both sides of the river, metro schools and some of the rural schools as well. So it's going to be a really fun last month of the season as we get ready for postseason play. Anything out there that we forgot? Do we really want to talk about real quickly? Do you want to touch on NFL, or do we want to just wait and talk about Super Bowl next week?
Ooh. I know. Do we want to talk about any high school wrestling going on with regionals coming up?
We can if you'd like to. We got a little bit of time.
We got a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I guess. Do you want me to start?
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like I've been to a lot of wrestling, but again, I do enjoy covering wrestling. So, do you want me to start with Iowa or Illinois? I've been to events for both.
Pick it.
I guess let's start with Iowa, and then I'll let you take over after this because I know you're at a pretty big duel this week. So I'll talk about the Midwest shootout I was at. I mean, you hear it every year, but I'm just always impressed with the Bettendorf wrestling program. They have some D1 guys, obviously, with, like, Jake Knight, Lincoln Jip. But just their seniors, Cody Trevino's really good. The Braden Custer, he's also really good. They just have – I feel like their level – there's so many of the wrestlers are so talented that they just feed off of each other. And you can tell in their practices because of how they perform, right? And they're just a very fun group to watch. But there's just – we're loaded with talent in wrestling on both sides of the river. And it's just really fun to watch some of these duels. And I'll let you talk more in depth about the PV Bettendorf one because that was a really big one this week.
That was a big duel, yeah. So yes. I got there. I believe PV was winning when I got there. I cannot remember the score off the top of my head. Bettendorf got a pin out of Lincoln Jip. Got another pin or a win at 106 then. They took the lead. Pleasant Valley jumped back in front, and then they got to the point where Jake Knight got a tech fall. Yeah. Cody Trevino got a tech fall. Put them up. I believe at that point it was 28 to 22 maybe. And then PV won the next couple matches to go up 38-28. And then Bettendorf got a win in the last match to go 36-24. 36-34. Sorry, 36-34. Really good duel, intense duel. Like you could feel the intensity in the room. Both coaches were into it. Both coaches were cheering on their guys, hyping their guys up. The other wrestlers were hyping their guys up. It is fun to watch some of those elite guys, like a Jake Knight.
You can see the difference.
You can just tell the difference. He's ranked number 1 in the state. Cody Trevino's ranked up there in the state. Lincoln Jip's ranked up there at number 1 at the state. It's fun to watch those guys wrestle because you just know you're going to get some high quality wrestling when they're out there. But yeah, really good wrestling. And earlier in the year, North Scott beat Bettendorf.
Oh, I was going to talk about it because I was at that one, and it came down to the last one. Yeah.
And that was I think 36-34 or something.
Yeah, it was like really close. And that, oh my gosh, I think that's why just the wrestling is so fun. First of all, the strategy. I know I talk about that, but just the atmosphere. It's like you get, you feel the hype at like the basketball games and stuff. But wrestling fans, especially in Iowa, like you're there, and that match specifically, like I was at the pit, super cool gym anyway, right? And it was so loud. It's like you get goosebumps, right? Like, it was insane. Like, that was such a fun duel.
It's always cool when you get the takedown and they're all yelling. It used to be 2.
No, it's 3.
But it's 3. It's so much fun to see that. So, some really good wrestling. They are in regionals this week, and then team regionals, I believe, and then it's individual after that, and then state and everything. Up, so.
And then on the Illinois side, we just had the Bob Mitten Invitational this weekend, which Rock Falls ended up winning. Rock Falls, they're really good. Rock Ridge got second place. They have a really good group again this year. Clayton Blumenstein won his match. It was his first time winning at Oregon. He was excited about it because I believe he finished second the year before, and it was his first time winning this year. And then Monmouth Roseville had a couple guys in the finals. I talked to Landon Peterson. His match was actually interesting. So the guy he was up against, he told me that guy beat his stepbrother in the semifinals. So it was personal for him, and he was like, I wanted to win that. And he was up like 6-4 going into the final period, and like a minute left, he just had this big takedown to solidify it. So that was really fun. And he got 6th the year before, so he was super excited to win it. Mercer County's had some really good wrestlers. Eli Burns has been wrestling really well. He actually got a win at the Midwest Shootout over, again, at Bettendorf High School a few weeks ago. So he got a win over there. He was in the finals. Can't remember if he got the win at Orion this weekend, but he was in the finals with that. Mercer County had a freshman, Boston is his name. He won as well. So just a lot of good talent at the Illinois side. Of course, there were some schools that dropped out of the Bob Mitten invite just because it was so cold this weekend, but still a lot of great talent over at Orion this weekend.
And you got to go to Geneseo's, the 50th Geneseo Invitational. How was that?
Yeah, that was very cool. Geneseo, 3 wrestlers took first. Kai Wine0 was one of them. Colton Mooney he was a funny guy.
Yeah.
Came in 6th last year, and then he took first at 215 weight class. There's one other guy I'm missing, Isaiah Gaines. Thank you. So, Geneseo's always very good. So I haven't seen as much wrestling as you guys, but that's probably the most. And then earlier in the year, I saw Moline Girls Wrestling. Moline, obviously, I think we talked about them maybe earlier, but this is the first year of their program, and it's just cool to see a group of girls working hard and wanting to do it just because they love the sport.
Right, yeah. In Iowa, obviously, it's really big, but it's starting to get bigger now over in the Illinois side.
Yeah, and I think, too, with Geneseo, I mean, they're always really good, and now they have a new coach this year because
Tom Rusk.
Yeah, Tom Rusk, he's doing a good job taking over that program after I can't think of the name. What was their legendary coach?
Well, the legendary coach was Kenke, and then it was John Murray was the coach.
But he did a lot of great stuff there for Geneseo, and to Tom Rusk taking over, they're still wrestling really well. It's really fun to see.
All right, I think that's going to do it.
Yeah.
We've gone for almost an hour here, if not more. I started my timer a little bit late. So.
Oh my gosh.
So again, we appreciate you guys sitting around, listening to us, watching us. As I always say, if you have anything you want us to talk about, anything that could be interesting, not interesting, or just something you want us to talk about, just let us know. Send us an email. You can find any of our emails up on our website at wqed.com. Of course, if you're watching this, you're on the 8+ app. Tell your friends about it and have them all download the 8+ app. You can watch it on Fire Stick, Apple TV, or Roku.
And you can download it for free.
Download it for free and watch it on your
TV.
It's almost like we've been
trained
to say that. So again, we thank you for watching Beyond the Score.